Oh my goodness, I think I am live. Well, hello everyone. I'm Alyssa Ariel, and I just want to do for today some activations, sacred activations for Valentine's Day, because it's coming up here in a few more days. And I hope to be doing these live streams every Saturday around this time. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss those, go ahead and hit the bell so that you'll get notifications, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you already have not done so. So for Valentine's Day, wow, a lot of stuff going through my mind, but I want to make this a quick, reasonably quick live stream today. So I'm going to be doing sacred activations. Um, Sacred activations are from God, they are God sourced energetic activations that will absolutely blow your mind and change your life. These activations were channeled by my friend and mentor, teacher, Tamara Oviatt of sacredactivations.com. And I am a teacher of sacred activations now. So I want to share some with you today that if you are looking for a soulmate, or you are someone who is maybe already dating or currently in a committed relationship and you want to make your relationship even better, um, these are for you today. And oh my gosh, there's so many different activations that I could run for this subject. Because it's just so fundamental. But I thought, let me just start where it all started, because the patterns that you currently have in your relationships, everything that you ever learned about love started in the very first 7 years of your life. So if you come from a family, from a home where there was a lot of neglect, abuse, whether it was intentional or unintentional, it doesn't really matter. Um, then that's what you're going to bring into your adult relationships. I've done it. Yeah, I've done it. Known many people who have also done that. And it's a shame, really, because, it's like you've suffered enough as a child. And now, even as an adult, you are like obsessively, compulsively recreating the same abuse and neglect in your adult relationships. And I, for one, think it is time to end it. It is time to let go of all of that crap. So that's where I'm going to start today. Um, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and I just want to say real quick, if you haven't received the first three foundational activations, I'm going to go ahead and put a link to that, I think, in the comments. And so that you can go back and listen to those first three foundational activations. And what those will do is that they will allow you to actually hold the energy of these activations much better, because they prepare your energy system. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start with an activation. It's called addiction redirection. And this is for those of you who your relationship becomes like an addiction to you. I know I had a mother like that. Once you become involved in a relationship, everything in your world becomes about pleasing that person, pleasing them, appeasing them. Your whole world revolves around that person. And you feel like, almost like if you were to lose them, you would die. Even though you know that you're not going to die, but it feels like you would die if you lost them. And And, you know, a lot of women even turn their backs on their own children um, for this kind of relationship. So I'm going to start running addiction redirection. That's going to be one of them. Um, Healthy boundaries, of course. Fundamentally, you've got to have healthy boundaries in a relationship. Women in particular, we are the ones who set the pace of the relationship. We are the ones who have to set a standard for how that relationship is going to be. What, you know, when does it become intimate? When does it get to that point? We are the ones that have to decide that. I'm going to share with you all. I didn't know if I was going to go there, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and share this because I've had a lot of different jobs. I've worked a lot of different side jobs in my life. And I even did some Ubering for a while. And I've had the experience, unfortunately, way too many times. I've had this experience where I'll pick up a young woman, you know, beautiful, attractive young woman, all, you know, looking good, everything. And and we get into a conversation, oh, where what are you doing? What's going on? And more times than I care to admit, I've had a young woman tell me, oh, I just met this guy online, and I'm just going over to meet him at his place. And it just felt so bad. And I don't like to interfere with people's lives, but uh yeah, I mean, the guy knows what's up. He knows what time it is. It's Netflix and chill, and that means he's getting sex. She may or may not know that, but she's having me deliver her like a pizza to some guy's apartment that she just met online. And this is why, healthy boundaries, it seems like a no brainer, but in today's world, it just seems like this is just what's accepted of young women. Young women think, well, I have to have sex with him or he'll move on to someone else. And I say, you know what? If that's what he's about, then let him move on to someone else. Actually, it's not true. He won't move on to someone else if you actually have high standards for yourself. Most men are going to go, wait a minute, this one is different, but see, you don't think that. You think, oh, because if you've had abandonment and rejection in your childhood, you felt abandoned and rejected quite a bit. Um, it just makes you so vulnerable uh, to taking crumbs, little crumbs of love and affection, what looks like love and affection from men and from the people in your life. And it is just it's terrible because it's like you end up reliving your entire childhood. And it sucked the first time, and it's going to suck for the rest of your life if you don't get out of these patterns. So with that activation, healthy boundaries, we're going to do that because you got to set the standards. And in the first 3 days, you damn sure shouldn't be. He shouldn't be at your house, and you shouldn't be at his house. That's for damn sure, because you don't even know this person. Um, just saying. Um, okay, and the next ones I want to do. These are actually deactivations around what I just mentioned, the abandonment. If you have a fear of abandonment because that's how you grew up, you felt alone and abandoned most of the time. Maybe your parents were workaholics, maybe they were too busy with their own issues. Whatever it was, I mean, most parents were just doing the best that they could. But unfortunately, if you were alone most of the time and felt like you had to bring yourself up, you had to raise yourself, you were abandoned. And therefore, you're going to be hypersensitive to any, abandonment, possible abandonment. or rejection, which means you're going to be hyper, like that's what creates these women over giving, overdoing, thinking that they have to have sex like the first time they meet the guy because, oh my God, if I don't have sex with him, he'll reject me and abandon me. Well, there are worse things that could happen, you know? Um, but let's get rid of that. And of course, another sacred activation called childhood PTSD. And again, this is what is causing these horrendous relationships, is because you're actually recreating your childhood with the partners that you choose. And this is for men too, as well. You know, you're recreating, falling for somebody, constantly being attracted to somebody who's just like your dad or just like your mom. And then you take on the opposite role. Maybe you keep attracting somebody that's just like your dad, and then you end up taking on your mother's role. And because there's some part of you that is subconsciously trying to change history. So that's what this is going to be for. We're going to heal that. The next one is 0 to 7. Again, all of your beliefs about what, quote, love is were formed in the first 7 years of life. That's even before you were born. Like, in hypnosis, I've had a lot of people tell me that, they knew before they were born that they weren't even wanted, that they weren't welcome here. And there was a lot of fear and fear about what was going to happen before they were even born. And then, of course, later on, you grow up watching your parents and how they interact with each other, and also how they interact with you. Are you even important enough to pay attention to? And unfortunately, for a lot of us, we weren't. We just felt completely abandoned and unimportant. And so we unconsciously choose partners who are going to, um, it's like a self fulfilling prophecy. See, nobody loves me. See, I'm not important. See, I'm not a priority. Never have been. That's why I always get treated this way. And you don't see that your part in it is that you are actually attracted to people who treat you that way. Like, I know myself, I can say, hey, I've done it. I've been there, done this. That's why I can talk about this. But now, at the point that I'm at now, I've done so many, of these activations, and I've done so much work on myself that actually a lot of this crap, I find it very boring now. Like when somebody starts treating me bad or just doesn't really give a crap about me, it's like, that's boring. Really boring. Next. And it feels good. And I want you to get to that point. If you're in this kind of pattern, I want you to get to that point where, like, nah, that just bores me, you know, and move on to something that feels better instead of rejecting the very guy. There'll be this fabulous guy that treats you like gold. And you'll be like, oh, I don't know. I like him as a friend, but, I don't know. I'm just not attracted to him. Right? How many guys like that were like the faithful kind of guy that, you could count on to the ends of the earth, but you friend zoned him, right? And not in a good way. You're like, you're just like, oh, I'm not attracted to him. So you rejected him. And instead you took the guy that, made you feel like you're in a relationship all by yourself, right? Or made you feel unimportant, just like your parents did, right? But it feels so familiar. And, the word familiar, it's like, sounds a lot like family, right? So you're going to unconsciously seek out the same people that are going to make you feel just like you're right at home. It's not always good, right? Next one is soulmate. So I'm saving soulmate for last because everybody thinks that, oh, I'm looking for my soulmate. And I've seen this and I've even experienced it myself, right? All of these things, I've done it. So maybe you go to a tarot reader, an intuitive, um, and this person tells you, oh, yeah, this guy you're dating, this is your soulmate. Here's the soulmate card right here. And what ends up happening is you end up putting that guy up on a pedestal. He hadn't even done anything to earn it yet, right? But he's already up on a pedestal because he's my soulmate. So I got to make this work, right? He's up there on a pedestal and he doesn't have to work for you at all. He doesn't have to make real dates with you. He doesn't, he thinks he can just show up at your place or you're just going to deliver yourself to him like a pizza because he's your soulmate, right? Wrong. I think the first thing we got to do is give up the magical thinking because if you really want to find a soulmate, you're going to make him prove it. You're not going to just, you're going to set your standards high. And the one who makes it through, it's kind of like, in marketing, we talk about having a marketing funnel. You have got to have a funnel that funnels out the people that are wrong for you. And one of those is, having your standards. Nope. I don't go to a guy's house on the first date or the second or the third. I just don't do it. And any man that would say, oh, well, I'm not interested. Okay, fine. Bye. You're boring. You are hella boring. Right. And thank God that guy left. Thank God that guy left. So I'm going to go ahead now and start these activations. And please let me know in the comments what you felt, what you experienced. Let me know if you can relate to some of the things that I'm saying here, because I know there's a lot of you out there, and it's confusing, especially when you are raised to feel such low self-esteem. Because if you don't get it from your parents, where are you going to get it from? Right? That's where we get our own feelings of worth and our feelings of value. But now that we're all grown up, they didn't give it to you. You're going to have to find ways to get it for yourself. And um, these activations are going to go a long way towards helping you get there. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead, and all you need to do is just relax. Do not drive or operate machinery while you are listening to these activations. And I also want to warn you that emotionally, your stuff is probably going to start coming up. Usually for me, it happens like a couple of days after I do a bunch of activations on myself. Oh, a lot of emotional stuff will start coming up. Just, don't make any rash decisions, okay, during this time, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to be quiet when I'm running the activations. Hard to believe, I know. But here we go. So I'm going to start with addiction redirection. And it's running right now. Think of that unrequited relationship. It's like an addiction or any other addiction you've got going on right now. And as that continues, I'm going to go ahead and start the sacred activation, healthy boundaries. Just say yes to receive. And next, I'm going to run a deactivation on the fear of abandonment and the fear of rejection. And next, I'm running childhood PTSD. Oh, and while I'm at it, I'm going to also run sexual PTSD. So any kind of sex trauma from your childhood or any other time in your life. Now running 0 to 7, clearing out all the beliefs, the programs that are running from the time that you were born, before you were born, up until around the age of 7. All those beliefs, all that programming, all the negative stuff. And now running the sacred activation, Soulmate. And I'm going to add one more sacred activation, and it's called I Am a Big Deal. I'm going to go ahead and run this. And remember, all of these activations are going to continue running. I am a big deal. Just accept it to receive it. So all of these sacred activations are going to continue running as needed. And since today is Saturday, if you are getting ready for a date, a dinner date, or what have you, while you're putting on all that makeup and getting yourself looking good for somebody that I hope you're not going to just deliver yourself to, please. But while you're getting yourself all looking good, and we women, we do this. Sometimes we spend hours on the hair and the makeup. I want you to repeat after me. Look in the mirror and say to yourself, I am a big deal. I am a big deal. I deserve the best. I deserve the best that life has to offer. I deserve to be loved. I am lovable. I don't have to do a damn thing to earn love. You cannot be any more deserving because you already are. You don't have to earn love. You don't have to do anything. Just be who you are. Say after me, I am a big deal. I deserve the best. I say no when I mean no. Healthy boundaries, they are easier and easier for me because the more I value myself, the easier it gets to say no to things and people that are just wrong for me. And now I want you to imagine that you are a big, beautiful tree. And I want you to imagine that the roots are coming out of the bottoms of your feet and they're going 5 miles down into the earth and 5 miles out to the side. You are supported. You are loved. And back in your body, grounded and centered. And I want to thank you to everyone, both now and in the future, who has been here. And please leave me comments below. Let me know how this was for you. And I hope you have a wonderful date night tonight, if that's what you're doing, and a beautiful Thanksgiving Day as well. Or Thanksgiving Day, Valentine's Day. You see, I get really loopy after I do these sacred activations. Have a happy Valentine's Day, and I wish you all the love in the world because you deserve it. And you don't have to do anything. Ciao for now.